You're watching the Top 6 Show, the original multi-club fan channel. Make sure you're following us now on Spotify and Apple Podcast. The link is in the description below.
Welcome back, everybody. Make sure you're hitting the like button, subscribing. We've got a massive panel for you tonight. Lots to talk about as well, with Julian Alvarez leaving Manchester City and on his way to La Liga. But why have no Premier League clubs gone in for him? We're taking a look at some business transfers at at Chelsea, as they now look to go and sign Samu Omorodion. Now that Atletico are getting Alvarez. They're getting Alvarez, and Chelsea look like they're getting Omorodion. We're going into that. We're talking about Solanke to Tottenham. We're looking at Frenkie de Jong to Manchester United, and Arsenal in for Yilmaz for some cover for Saka on that right-hand side. All that and much, much more. Make sure you're following our group chat by scanning that QR code. But look at this beautiful panel I've got tonight. A few people back after a little bit of a hiatus over the summer. Man like Will is in the house. Good to have you back on, my friend. We've got Chatty Patty. We've got one halfer of Bros in Kate today. We've got Sard, loving life as a gooner. And there he is, still on the kids' table. It's Man Like Ram. How are we all? We all good? We all well? We all healthy?
No intro for David.
David didn't even get the intro.
David. I know we lived together for a month and I've forgotten about you. I'm so sorry. And David is here as well to talk to us about Chelsea's potential new striker. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Terry was too busy trying to cuss me first, man. You know what I mean?
I was going to intro it and be like, and here is Ram, the only member of the panel that's still a virgin, but I thought I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't make that joke.
Wow.
No, the point I'm making is I wouldn't do that joke online. That's the thing. I would never actually tell that joke. It was just what was in my head. So I didn't actually tell the joke.
Said it.
No, I just told you what I was thinking, not what. No, I just told you what I was thinking, not the actual joke. But yeah, you asked for it.
Wild. You moved wild today.
I am. I'm in a good mood. And look, I want. Who do I start with today? So I'm going to start with Man City. Man City have pretty much agreed a deal now for Julian Alvarez to go to Atletico Madrid. There's talk that it's going to be for somewhere in the region of about 40 million English pounds.
Yeah.
So I want to go to Will first on this. They're your local rivals, yourself being a Real Madrid fan. How good a piece of business is this for Diego Simeone and Ati?
I mean, it's a good piece of business, to be honest. I mean, just last week, I was laughing at Atletico after Dovbyk rejected them. Then they went out there, they signed Sorloth. So he replaced Morata, and I looks like they're about to bring in Julian Alvarez. It is a good, and he does come across as a striker that does fit that way that they like to play. But to be honest, if they get him for that price, it's a steal. And I don't think it's going to be that low. I definitely think they're going to have to be paying maybe around like 80, 70 million euros, just because he's such a valuable player that Man City don't even want to lose. And to me, I think City are about to lose their best striker. So, it hurts them. And, Atletico, I mean, he benefits going there. He's going to be playing in Spain, which is a better country to live in than England because the weather's better, the food's better. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be playing with
Hold
on. Have you been to the UK? Have you been here, bro?
Yeah. You ever had a Sunday roast, mate?
Look. No, in fairness, I was about to say, I wasn't going to say English food. Have you tried the traditional English Indian cuisine? Have you tasted the traditional English Chinese cuisine? It's amazing.
Wait, so I do have family that lives in London. I've never been, but my mom's been.
There you go. So you're dissing us. You ain't even
hold on. But she said that the food was whack, right? Like she's talking about.
Where did she eat? Where did she eat though? Did she go Weatherspoons, bruv? Because that's the issue.
Look, I've seen pictures of y'all food, right? Like peas and like gravy on toast and nah.
Gravy on toast? What the hell? Gravy on toast is crazy.
He's making that.
It looks crazy, bro. But look, here's what I say before I end it, though, right? Julian Alvarez has completed football, right? The guy's won everything. Like, so him going to Atletico, you know what I'm saying? Like, their version of the Champions League final is whether they beat us every season or not. So, he's going to give up trophies pretty much. But it's a good move, though, in terms of, just a upgrade.
When you say best striker, you think he's better than Erling Haaland?
Yeah, as an overall striker, yeah. Like he's a better, well, I wouldn't say as an overall striker. Let me say he's a better footballer than Haaland. For me, I think Haaland's very limited, right? I think he's a product of the systems that he's been a part of. If he's not scoring a 2-yard tap in, he might as well not be on the pitch, right? Julian Alvarez overall game is just much better than what Haaland is. Overrated player.
That's so disingenuous. Haaland has to get in those positions to score. He doesn't just score tap-ins. He does have overall game. He does bring people into play. Haaland is a fantastic striker. Yes, he might not be beautiful on the eye if you want to see an array of finishes and all of that stuff. But yeah, I can't agree with you there. I can't. So
I mean, see, but the thing with Haaland is that he has elite off the ball movement and he's elite in the box. But like that's it. I mean, he's big and strong, right? He's like everything that he does physically, but just as an overall footballer. He's not better than Julian Alvarez.
I hear you, but end product is what counts. And the guy's bagging 40 a season without fail. Without fail. Do you know what I mean? So that has to come into consideration.
Fair, but then look at how City play. Everything has to tailor to Haaland. Like he makes City very one-dimensional now because you know exactly what they're going to try to do because Haaland doesn't really have many other ways of beating you. So now you're forcing crosses in. You're kind of forcing the ball to him because he's just there in the middle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me...
But they've won everything, though. Will, with all due respect, with last 2 years, they've literally cleaned up everything. So, does it really matter?
But they're not going to do that with or without him because City are just relentless. And that squad that they have is relentless. But he does help them, though, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I think
I'm waiting for someone else to talk.
I think it's a...
In fairness, I was just emptying out I was listening, but I was emptying out my wallet because it was overflowing with stupid stuff. So I was listening though. Carry on, Sard.
Yeah, listen, I think it's a great move for Atletico Madrid. I think it's like you said, he suits their system very well. He suits their team very well as a striker that they want to go for. You know, I would have wished that maybe we would have gone in for him and tried to put in some sort of a bid, but he wasn't my main striker to go for. I think my main striker is still Victor Gyökeres. But listen, Alvarez is a brilliant striker in his own right as well, man. He's got the ability on the ball. He's very good at set pieces, very good at free kicks. Very technical player as well. Fast and good on the ball. And I think, listen, right now I'm looking at the situation at Man City. This whole thing that they were preaching, this whole transfer window, which was we need to sell before we can buy. We need to sell before we can buy. I think now we have to see, like, who are they going to replace him with? Who are they going to bring in now? Who is going to be that striker that they need? That kind of technical striker. Who is there on the market at the moment that they can bring in that can fill that void? Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a very good deal for Atletico Madrid. I've heard that it's in the region of around 60 to 70 mil. But listen, it's a very good deal for Atletico Madrid, and I'm interested to see who from City or who City will bring in, because now they're going to have a massive void that they need to fill in attack as well. They need to fill that because they can't just go with Erling Haaland. They need somebody to offset, and if he wants to change the type of striker he wants to use, then they need somebody to come in that's of a stand. You know what I mean? If they want to keep their dominance, because start to let a player like this go, and then they don't put in a player with similar talent. This is how the downfall of dynasties happens, bro. It starts with small players, with players leaving who you think, oh, it's all right, we could do without them, and then all of a sudden your other players start leaving, and all of a sudden you're losing talent, and then. Yeah, listen, they definitely have a job on their hands to replace him now, because I think he's a very good player. But yeah, it's a bit weird that Chelsea haven't gone in for him. I know for us, I think we're going for a different kind of striker. I think we're going for more of a tall striker, a presence in the box, a poacher, and I think that's the reason why we probably haven't gone in for him. But it's weird that Chelsea haven't gone in for him, because I think he'd suit Chelsea. I think he's a very good player who can come into Chelsea.
Just on that, I misspoke earlier because I got something jumbled up in my head. He's not going for 40 million. It's around 70 million pounds. The 40 million part is what Chelsea are now willing to pay Ati to sign Samu Omorodion. And that's the element that I don't quite get. Samu Omorodion, what I've read, what I've seen, what I've heard, is nowhere near Julian Alvarez. Chelsea are buying an inexperienced striker to add to their vat of inexperienced forwards, and it's helping Ati, in my opinion, still some one of the best forwards in Europe. I really do think he's one of the best forwards in Europe, Julian Alvarez.
But to be fair to like Chelsea, he's not bad. Like he's a decent striker. Like I've watched him a few times last season. Like he's very quick, he's strong, he's fast on the ball. So like I mean, like I guess they're doing like the potential thing, like all their signings. But I don't really like the move like that either. But I know you were bringing up some of like the Premier League clubs, but I think Atleti's price would not be a big six club's price. Right, I'd like for me, I think that you'd have to probably add like an extra 20 million on for what City would have maybe wanted if he was to go to an Arsenal or go to a Chelsea. But yeah, like he is a really good player though, man. I think somebody should have probably came.
I think even with Chelsea, just quickly with Chelsea, like he suits. I think he's on like a 90k or 100k or something like that at the moment. So even if Chelsea did go in for him, he fits in that whole. Oh, we want to get somebody below 150k or on 150k as a max that we're going to pay them in wages, which listen, they could have brought him in 100k, put him up to like 125, 130, maybe even 140k, and you got yourself a player there. Do you know what I mean? So it fits even on the wage structure.
They've allowed it to happen.
I just don't think I just don't think he suits Chelsea anyway, to be honest.
Julian?
No, I don't think so. We've got players who can do exactly what he does. And he's not a main striker, so that's what we're looking.
No, but he's not a main striker. He's not a main striker because of the system.
But I don't think he's got the ability to do it. He's just not. He just doesn't have those traits to be like for me to be a number one striker. Like for Atletico, I think it's a good move because they get a really good player. For him, I think it's a bad move because Atletico is a place where forwards go to die. So, like people, yeah, exactly. People talk about Chelsea, but like Atletico Madrid at the same time, you're acting like their forwards go crazy. They don't.
Like, what? Come on, bro. Like that's a little bit disingenuous, bro.
Atletico Madrid. What? You're telling
me score goals. They score goals.
You're telling me go there to cook. You're telling me forwards.
Don't have me defend them, please.
No. Will you have to? Will you have to?
Defend them. We'll defend them because
okay, wait. But to be fair, right?
He plays terrorism football.
Nah, bro. They scored like 70 goals last season.
Bro, your league has got 2 teams in it. Relax.
Nah, come on, bro. That's disingenuous. Wow, come on.
When they get to the Champions League, when they get to the Champions League, them man are sitting back, 10 men behind the ball. I love it. Don't get it twisted. I love the football.
Yeah.
But as a forward, I would hate to play in it because
David, question that I was asked you yet. I'm going to ask it. Who in your team is as good or better than Julian Alvarez?
It's not as good. I think Nkunku has the ability to do what Julian Alvarez could do for us, but because that's what we've signed him to do. He's our second striker, and I think if he has a fully fit season, he would be as good. Like I do rate him very highly. So
I don't think you could play Nkunku as an out and out striker. I think you could play Alvarez as an out and out striker.
But I wouldn't want Alvarez. I wouldn't want to play Alvarez as an out and out striker.
But I think you guys are missing one. I think you guys are missing really one big thing. City won't sell to Chelsea. After what happened with Cole Palmer, they won't do it. You saw what happened with Arsenal. They do it. They gave him Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus. They decided, no, we're not giving anyone our players. You saw what happened with Cole Palmer. Chelsea could bring up 70, 80 or something stupid. They may not even let him go. They're probably like, yeah, let's send him to Atletico. We don't want it to give him to a potential rival.
Where I agree with that to an extent, because when I tweeted earlier, why has no one in England gone for him? That is what Chelsea and Arsenal fans both kind of said, whether it was about Palmer or whether it was about, Gabriel Jesus and this sort of thing, or where Arsenal are now, they wouldn't sell to us. Well, that's why you convince the player. Because the one thing City will not do, because we know this is part of their policy, they don't keep players that don't want to be there. If you got into the camp of Julian Alvarez and you made him want to be a Chelsea player, you made him want to be an Arsenal player, there's only probably 2 clubs in England due to the city's rivalries, and that's Man United and Liverpool, that wouldn't work with. For every other team, if the player had his head turned, he's gettable. Unless you're all telling me that City have now got these internal policies, which all City fans have denied, that they won't sell to people they consider to be not a threat to them.
But Terry, I think it's more so a personal thing. I think Julian Alvarez just doesn't want to be in England anymore. Like, because I've seen reports about he wants to play in warmer weather and everything like that. And if you're at Man City, I think, like leaving City would kind of be a downgrade going to like any of those other teams that you kind of mentioned. It's like, do you want to play against them and have to compete against the team that you just left that is going to probably be winning the league and Champions League and all these things? And, I think like that's kind of what it is more so his preference.
That makes sense. David, Samu Omorodion, though, it looks as though you're going to spend 40-odd million on him now. There are some Chelsea fans, and I don't know whether this is copium or you've read reports, I haven't, that think that you're going to go for Omorodion and Osimhen. But do you think this ends any possibility of Victor Osimhen coming to Chelsea if you sign Samu? And how excited are you about this potential deal?
You would assume that if we signed Omorodion, then we wouldn't sign Osimhen. But this is Chelsea. So, to be honest, anything can happen. So I'm not going to say it's impossible. Am I excited about Omorodion? I know nothing about this bloke. He could be really good. Like, he could be really good, but he could also be dreadful. So I'd love to really give you a detailed analysis on how brilliant of a striker we found. He's going to be amazing and blah de blah. But if you're telling me you watched Samu Omorodion for a consistent amount last year, you're lying to yourself. That's simple. It ain't no one watching Alvarez, bro. Like, unless you literally don't see sunlight, in which case, by all means, like, cool. But I'm not one of those people. But I hope he's good, and he fits the plan. No one can tell me Chelsea don't have a plan. We do have a plan. Whether you agree with the plan is a different question.
What is the plan? Sorry for
the plan. The plan is build young and see the team grow together. That's what it is.
BTEC RB Leipzig, yeah, man.
Even though you keep sacking
BTEC, but it's not. How is it? Hold on. Before I get to you, Patrick. Right, yeah. Ram. How is it BTEC RB Leipzig if we can go to Leipzig and buy their best players? Shush, be quiet.
Because RB Leipzig actually do it properly.
Shush.
They don't do stupid stuff like spend 40 million on no players.
We bought their best players. Be quiet. Now, I agree with you, Patrick. I don't agree with the chopping and changing of managers. I didn't want Pochettino sacked in the first place, but we are where we are now. They've now given Maresca a 5-year deal. So if they don't stick with Maresca, then by all means, like, everyone can have a field day, because it just wouldn't make sense to me at all. But I agree, you need consistency in order to aid in the growth of your players. So whoever the manager is, I want them to stay. And even though, again, our preseason has been very up and down, I quite like what Maresca is doing, and I can see patterns and I can see how the team should be playing. So even if at the start of the season it goes wrong, I'm still going to back him because I can see what he's trying to do. If the players can't execute it, that's a different problem entirely. But I don't think it will be a Maresca problem. So yeah.
Can we just, at what point can we just start saying it's same shit, different day? I mean, there's so many times I've seen here we goes and they're signing this guy, they're signing that. Most of these guys can walk past me on the street. I won't even know who they are, bro. Who is this guy? Who is Omorodion? Who's Omorodion? Is that his name? I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Honestly,
can I say one thing about this? I want to listen. I'm not going to overly judge him because I don't know him. However, it's the first player I've seen Chelsea linked to where Don says he's rubbish. And if Don is saying he's rubbish, that would worry me because he thinks their average players are brilliant. Imagine how bad Samu Omorodion is if Don thinks he's bad and he's Chelsea.
That's
he actually said a minute ago.
He
actually said in here a minute ago. He left a comment, and we are going to go to the Fabrizio news soon. But I want to put this comment up. It made me die.
He said he walks like his boots are too big.
He plays like his boots are too big, and I'm like
young Lukaku. Sounds like
he's wearing Timberlands, man. He's wearing them Timbs.
That's mad.
He fits the pace and power of the Premier League, though. Like, he has the physical tools from what I've watched. Because I only watched probably like 4 games last year.
Is he a finisher? Will?
Not in the games that I've seen. Yeah. But to be fair, though, it was against Real Madrid. So, like, I'm gonna take that with like a grain of salt. But I think he had like 9 goals in the league last season.
9 goals.
That is not good. That is.
Look, I mean, look, but he also plays for Alvarez. He played for Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's like 20, 21. I don't know.
I think it's
Oh, okay. So it fits the age profile then. Bro, what is this, man? What is this, bro?
I am getting called out though. DJ here says, Terry, you get triggered when United transfers are lied about and increased. Oh, who? Omorodion is 35 million. And how the F can it be copium when Orney and Lawson said we want both? Now, again, did you hear what I said though, DJ? I said, is it copium or is there a report that I haven't read? So that's not me lying. That's me saying I'm asking questions because I don't get to read every report about every club all day. I do have a life as well. I didn't say that it was a lie. I asked whether it was copium or if it was a report, my friend. Go back and listen to the actual clip. And 35 million pounds. I've read 40 million euros. I mean, there's no real differential. So yeah, no one's lying about anything Chelsea are doing here, my friend. We're having conversations about it. And if you end up signing, the interesting thing is, if you do end up signing both strikers, what does that mean for Anthony? What does that mean, for Jackson? Because
I think he moves in the wing.
Maybe, but then they've already got wingers. I mean,
I was going to say, as what he'd want our wingers to do, I don't think Nicholas Jackson suits that. But that's me personally. He wants one-on-one tricky wingers who can beat a man. Nicholas Jackson, in case you haven't watched him,
Dave, you got the best 1v1 winger in the league, man.
Coordination's not his thing. So do you know what it is? Madueke's been good, and I won't hear otherwise. Madueke and Sterling, both of them have been good. They've been good. No, last year. No, this preseason.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah.
Patrick's a G, bro. Man's on to Chelsea today, bro.
As you know, some of the stuff in the group chat has been mad. It's been mad.
Now remember, I'm not one of them. I'm sorry, Don and Ches. I love you guys, we support the same team, but I am not one of you, man. I can't gas my team right now.
But I think Chelsea are going to surprise a lot of people next season. You guys are.
No, I think we are. I think we are as well. People think we're going to finish 8th, and I think that's a nonsense. But some people think we're going to finish 3rd, and I think that's a nonsense as well. So,
but I think Chelsea are going to fight for top 4 next season. They'll be in the conversation.
I'd agree.
Yeah, the squad is very decent. But it's just like banter, and people, they want to make it all doom and gloom. But I don't think it's going to be like that next season for Chelsea.
It's certainly going to be an interesting one. There's been some breaking news. A lot of people saying it's Fabrizio Romano's news. It's not Fabrizio Romano's news. He's just confirmed it, which means we'll give kudos to Luke Edwards, who broke the news that Newcastle are close to signing Marc Guehi from Crystal Palace in a £60 million deal. Good bit of business, Kate.
Good bit of business for them. Crap for Spurs, because any hope of Eze's completely gone out the window now, because they're never going to let Elise, Guy and Eze all go in the same window. So, but great bit of business for them. Everybody seems to be doing business except us and Liverpool. So it's kind of like just being a bit of an observer at the minute, watching everybody else sign top players and getting left behind, which kind of has been my fear all along.
But don't add us into it, man. It's just us. It's just us.
Well, I was told Eze was our number 1 target at the start of the window, and yet we've sat on our backsides and nothing's been done. So this is what Spurs
fairness, do. I do feel a bit for Big Ange. I look at it this way. Look, we've employed 2 managers already as our assistant managers this year. We've got a little job for him. He can just come to United, be one of our coaches. He'll win some trophies here. I feel sorry for Big Ange. But we will get on to Tottenham in a minute. Ram, Guehi, he was linked to Liverpool in the last few days. The source wasn't particularly great, but how much does this improve Newcastle United?
It does improve them. I think Fabian Schär, I'm not too sure if he's going to be leaving Newcastle. I've been reading some reports about it, but him and Botman, that's their defense secured for the next 3 or 4 years. You got 2 players that complement each other very well. Guehi is very good. Is a very good tackler, but he's also very good on the ball, similar to what Botman is. So it's a really good piece of business. What I'm interested about is PSR now, because they might need to sell someone. And Liverpool are looking at a certain left winger at Newcastle. And I wonder if that's going to actually do something about that.
PSR
Anthony Gordon might want to come to Liverpool, So we'll just have to wait and see.
PSR is not Real Smith. I'm sorry.
No, it's real. It's real
It's a
for
myth,
Newcastle,
man.
Dave.
It's a myth.
It's not real for us. It's not real for the top 6 clubs when we generate so much money. But Newcastle, it might be a thing. It might be. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. It could be a case where Mr. Anthony Gordon might end up.
The only bit that I'm a little bit offended by is I saw in the first month of the sort of summer when the Arsenals and the Cities were looking at Newcastle players. There were some Newcastle fans, not all, but some online, who were outraged. How dare you think you could take our players? There were some that were fuming with Man United. How dare you? How dare you, just because you're a bigger club with more money, think you can come and take Dan Ashworth? We did. I do find it a little bit offensive that these Newcastle fans are not kicking off at their own club now for trying to take one of Crystal Palace's players away. By their standards, this is like bullying. This the black and white cartel. It's crazy. I just want to put that out there, Newcastle fans, that some of you have the gall to not call your club out for trying to improve itself like you call the rest of us out. Just saying. Just putting it out there a little bit.
The Saudi money got them feeling different, Terry. It's that Saudi money, like they're moving, the fans, they trying to move different.
Do you know what I found with some Newcastle fans? I know a lot of Newcastle fans, good people. There's a few, though, that if you just follow their Twitter, sometimes I like doing this for a little period where I follow someone quite closely to see what they're up to. And you'll see them tweet about United, they'll tweet about Tottenham, they'll slag off Arsenal, they'll slag off Chelsea. As soon as someone says that negative about Newcastle, why is everybody on the internet talking about my club? I find those real sensitive ones online strange. They talk about everybody else, but when it comes to their club, it's like you should leave us alone. But no, it's a good bit of business for them. It's certainly a good bit of business indeed for them. You mentioned Tottenham, though, Kate. You are reportedly on the brink of a £65 million move for Dominic Solanke. And I saw you in the chat a couple of days ago, and you didn't seem like an happy bunny about this one.
Well, it's purely because we spent 65 million on Richarlison, and Solanke, in my opinion, is the same sort of level. I know a lot of people think he's better, and statistically wise.
No, wait, I'm sorry. Wait, sorry. How much did you spend Richard?
Hey,
Richard, 65 million.
60 million, 65 million
you
around.
You got robbed.
Why is a Chelsea fan talking about being
you got robbed?
How much have you paid for Caicedo and Enzo?
Patrick, you spent £65 million on a pigeon, bro. Come on, let's not.
Richard.
Listen. Chelsea fans should not be talking. Everyone else I can hear it from, but not the
that man's from Scunthorpe. He ain't Brazilian.
Not the Chelsea.
What?
No, I mean, but Enzo and Caicedo are good players though. A little misplaced though.
I don't know about that.
Why are we just going over the point that she just made, that Solanke and Richarlison are the same level? Sorry, Kate. Sorry, Kate.
You don't
I
call
apologize.
somebody a she or a he.
Sorry, that was
rude.
very, very rude from me. Apologies,
Terry,
guys.
how you can call him rude when what you were calling me backstage? Don't even go there. I was called a male athlete or something.
I did call you a geezer. No, but me and you are like, we have that. Me and you are on that banter level. Do you know what I mean? So it's different. Do you know what I mean, geez? But yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Love.
Apologies. Yeah, Kate, you need to explain that to me, because I don't think Richarlison is nowhere near Solanke's level. Nowhere near.
Well, if you look at the stats, they're really closely matched together. There's barely anything between the two, right? There's things that Solanke's better at. There's things that Richarlison's better at. But if we're going to pay that sort of money for another striker, I want him to be a big upgrade from Richarlison. And for me, Solanke isn't that. He had a fantastic season last year, exceeded everyone's expectations of what he did. He got 20 goals last season. Richie got 14. But Solanke played 42 matches. Richie only played 23. Then there's not a lot in it. The only difference with Solanke to Richie really is he plays a full season and doesn't very often get injured. Apart from that, it does absolutely nothing for me, the thought of signing Solanke. I think it's a terrible decision. You've got Toney out there. You could get Toney and Chiesa for the same price that we're going to pay for Solanke. It's madness. It's absolutely madness.
It can work though. It can work. Even if look, I'm not gonna slate on Solanke. Obviously, he played for Liverpool and all that, but he's still a good quality striker, and he's better than the Pigeon. Honestly, he's a better striker than the Pigeon. He's a lot more clinical. and he's a lot more dominating in up top, and that's what you guys need.
No,
and plus, he's a lot. I think he's a couple years younger than Toney.
Would you take him at Liverpool?
Would I take him at Liverpool? That's a different story.
Exactly.
Yes, you are take. Ram, come on.
But it's different because I don't like taking back what we already sold. That's just me. I don't like going back to.
Okay, I can understand that.
You know what I mean? But personally, I think it's a good signing for Tottenham. I really, really do. And the benefit of it is we get an extra £13 million because of that sell-on clause. So please, Tottenham, go ahead.
Wait, but then like what Kate just said, like if Ivan Toney is sitting right there, he only has 12 months left on his deal, right?
Yep.
So it shouldn't be that hard to get done. He's at Brentford. Tottenham should be able to go in there and bully them, like with a player.
I don't know what's Will.
But like, how come nobody knows Ivan Toney anymore? Like,
I don't know what's going on, bro. Something's going on with Ivan Toney. How can 3 clubs that are in for him suddenly say, "Oh no, you know what? We're relaxing these rumors and we're not going in for him"? Why?
It's weird.
Why is this all happening?
It's like he's sitting right there. I'm with you.
But apparently, we had the only thing I know about these internal discussions that have happened is that we didn't like his attitude. Why are Tottenham moved away from him? Why have Man United moved away from him? Why are Chelsea not in for him? Like, we need to know why.
But then
what is going on? Is it his attitude? Is it him? I don't know.
But then, do you think that maybe then it's more of like a Brentford problem, right? Because maybe Brentford are putting like a high evaluation like on a player.
No, but they've dropped. No, but
they've lowered it.
They've dropped the price. They've dropped the price down to I think 40 mil.
40?
Yeah.
40?
Yeah.
Okay.
As in like one club is a coincidence. 2 clubs, something stinks. 3 clubs, then there must be something wrong.
Something wrong, bro.
No, but 40 mil. I was going to say 40 mil, 28 years old, 1 year left on his deal. I'll just wait. I don't need him urgently.
He's homegrown as well.
Wait, hold on, wait. But for example, like a team like Tottenham, or so how Tottenham, they want to try and compete for things, right? They need him like right now. Like, why wait another season?
I don't think
he'd come in and instantly make a difference.
I don't think
why wait for him to be a free agent and then everybody can now talk to him, and then now you have to fight everybody else.
I just don't think Spurs look at Toney and go, "Yeah, 40 mil straight away is exactly what we need." Otherwise, they would have done it. There has to that. I don't think. I think the attitude thing is like, it is what it is. I think there's more the fact of I just don't think these bigger teams rate him enough to go and drop the 40 mil straight away.
I mean, fair, but then maybe you can even do like installments then, because we know that like most of these deals don't get paid all at one time. So it's
I know, but it's but I'm just saying it's like I just don't think Spurs looking at it going like, oh, we could either wait, until his contract finishes and then we can try and sign him, or we can sign him right now for 40 mil, or we could go and try and improve our squad in other ways that could also cost 40 mil, because Spurs do have a lot of holes. So
that's true. But I think Toney is the best striker available on the market this summer, especially for the price that he's going to cost. I'm not going to have to pay
I agree with your opinion, but if I'm going to play devil's advocate, it does concern me that no one's willing to buy him. And I think sometimes in life, no matter what you think about someone now you could listen to a music artist and this is the best song I've ever heard. But if every time he releases a song, no one buys it, maybe your opinion on that artist isn't as good. Like, you might still like it, but it doesn't mean it's good music. And I sometimes feel we do that with footballers too much, where you rate someone and you realize, Jesus, he's 32 and he's never played for a big club. There's something in that sometimes, but I do think Solanke's a good signing for Spurs. I know 65 million sounds a lot, but is it in 2024 for someone? I think about the way you guys play football, the cutbacks, the through balls, the attacking nature. I think it's almost disrespectful to compare him to Richarlison. What he did last year for a Bournemouth team, Richarlison could not dream of doing. Richarlison doesn't have the clinical edge that I think Solanke possesses. Now, for me, when you think about the top strikers in the world, in their pomp right now, they sell for £150 million. So getting Solanke at 65 million, I think, is a reflection for where he sits in that sort of threshold of strikers, if that makes sense. If Solanke was maybe a couple of years younger and spent the next 2 years scoring 20 to 25 league goals, he'd be 130, 140 million pound player. I actually think you're doing a smart thing by getting him now. If he has another good year at Bournemouth, do you know how much more expensive he's going to be? And I think that he's going to score a lot of goals for Tottenham next year. And I think he's going to be one of those signings where everybody forgets how much you're paying for him inside 6 months. I think
so you think that he moves the needle for Tottenham? Because for me, I don't think anything changes whether they bring him in or not. They're still going to compete for top 4 and not win trophies, whether they spend the 65.
Whether winning trophies is a great point. They had Harry Kane, one of the best technical strikers this country's ever produced, and they still didn't win any trophies. So I'm not going to go that far with Tottenham as of right now because they need more business. But I think as someone who does he come in and fulfill his role as a £65 million striker? Yes, I think he scores between 20 and 30 goals in all comps next season for Tottenham. And for that amount of money, I think that's a very, very good return. It's on other play. It'll be on other players. It's about the wide players contribute. It's about the midfield. It's about the club learning to handle pressure. And I don't think the signing of Solanke changes that for Tottenham overnight. But I do think it's a phenomenal piece of business for Tottenham. I think it's really, really good. Him and Archie Gray are two of the best bits of business that any Premier League team will do this summer. They need more, but I think they're really good bits of business.
I don't know whether To's joking or if he's serious.
No, not at 65 mil for Solanke.
No, but the thing is, David, they've got money to. Bro, hang on.
Hang on a minute. You're about to drop 40 mil.
But Terry, I don't agree with that.
On the Mario, bro.
But sometimes, guys, it's not about our subjective opinions. It's about the market rate and what players cost. If it's £40 million to buy Samu Omorodion, 25 million more for a tried and tested in his peak player who just bagged 20 league goals last year, it's not daylight robbery. Yes, he's not fashionable. Yes, there's no hype around him. Yes, he doesn't have, sort of a calling card. That's the issue with this. He's not fashionable. But not being fashionable doesn't mean not good. I think he's a really good bit of business for a striker. Scoring goals is the hardest skill in football. I don't care about your drag backs, your flaps, your overarching drag backs, whatever you want to call them, right? Goal scoring is the hardest skill in the game. There's no skill in football that's harder than goal scoring, and this man can score goals. And I think what we saw is as soon as he was in a team that played progressive football, he came alive. Spurs play progressive football. They attack. They create. The chances your number 9 players in your number 9's position missed last year, he could easily bag 20-plus league goals. And if he does that for 2 or 3 seasons running, he's more than returned at £65 million. I think it's good business, but Spurs do need more.
Can I say on this, Terry? Because obviously I've listened to everyone. And yeah, I'm with both of you. I'm with you, Terry, and I'm with you, Kate. When I saw the news and we were linked to Solanke, I was really like, oh, really? But as I think about it, I'm really in the middle with this because, like you said, he scored 19 goals last year for Bournemouth. The year before in the Championship, he scored 29 goals. So if you look at him from a standpoint of improving, as sometimes strikers develop later in life. It looks like he's really he was at big clubs before and didn't really make it. He did the right thing, moved to a lower club, honed his trade, crafted himself, and he looks like he's coming into his heyday now. When you look at 65 million, you think that's a lot, especially when you compare it to Richarlison and this and that. But I agree with what Terry's saying. He's a completely different player to Richarlison. He's a lot more clinical. He presses from the front. He makes good runs. In the team where you now can play Son on the left in his favourite position, we create a lot of chances. Someone like Solanke, who is always, essentially, I don't want to jinx it, but he's always fit and available. He could score a lot of goals for Tottenham. He's not the name I wanted. I wanted Ivan Toney and Victor Gyökeres. I'm not going to lie to you. Those are the names I've been looking at, and I've been licking my lips and really hoping we brought one of them in. So when I saw the links to Solanke, I was disappointed. But when I do look at what he can bring to Spurs, and with him and Richarlison, and like I said, Son in his favourite position, and hopefully players stay fit, I do think he could do business for Spurs. And yeah, sometimes it's about the team, innit? Like some of the names, yes, on paper, he's not appealing. He's not going to really get the fans to the stadium right away. But if he comes in and starts scoring goals, everyone's going to forget about the price tag. Everyone's going to forget about this ban. So everyone's going to forget about all of this, and he's just going to get on and do his job. So yeah, it's a strange one because the striker market right now is really poor. Ivan Toney is a really strange one because the guy's literally begging for a move. No one's even looked at him like that, which is mental considering how many teams need strikers. So something's not right there.
Patrick,
so I don't know.
Do you think Kulu could go into the sort of the 65 million? You don't think he could go into the striker role? Because in pre-season, He's looking comfortable there.
In a one-off game for 30 minutes, maybe to mix things up, Kulu looks okay there. But when you play a decent team who know how to man-mark a striker and know about movement and defenders like a Diaz, a Saliba, a Virgil van Dijk, anyone, Konate, anyone that's half decent, they have Marc Kulu out of the game, man. That's not his favourite position. Maybe as a 10, Kulu's okay, off the wing, cool, but not as a number 9 throughout the course of a season, no chance. But he could be an option later on in the game if you need to overload the box. He works in that way. So, yeah, the striker market is really poor. Everything Terry said is bang on. You got a guy that scored 20 Premier League goals. When you see Chelsea linked to guys for 40 million that none of us have heard of, it's not even banter. Like, you got to really put things into perspective. Eddie Nketiah is about to go for 20 mil, and that guy can't score 3 or 4 league goals in a season. So,
Eddie Nketiah, they're probably going to get over 30, but they're going to get over 30. They're going to get over 30 million pounds for Eddie Nketiah, but that's the point I'm making here. Like, if we look at Eddie Nketiah and Solanke, let's say they end up getting 30 to 35 million. It is not a disrespectful claim to make that Solanke's twice as good at him at scoring goals. He is. So this is why I don't think 65 million is this crazy number for him. What I agree with, he's just not fashionable. He doesn't get the juices flowing and nobody's like, oh my God. And sometimes we're a little bit, we're like magpies sometimes. We're a little bit excited by shiny things as opposed to what we actually need. Do you know what I mean? Like a shiny bit of tinfoil is not going to feed a magpie, a worm will, but that's not what they're attracted to sometimes. There's got somebody super chats here. First thing says, Solanke is a better fit for Spurs than Toney. Younger, way more mobile, just as physical. Look at his record. Toney is just more popular.
Yeah, I think that's a man like Josh. About right. Yeah, I think that's about right. To be fair, it's about right. Literally, what I was saying.
Big up Josh, man.
Yeah, big up Josh. Good guy.
And also, you only bid 50 million to begin with, so you might even get him less than 65 million pounds. This here says Solanke, 26 years old, one good season, 50 million, in my opinion.
Gyökeres, if we're being real, it's the same with Gyökeres. Gyökeres has had one good season as well, albeit obviously it's in a league that isn't as good as the Premier League, but he plays for a better team. The striker market is on its knees right now, man. Show me a good striker.
But I think Gyökeres has also played for Coventry, so he's actually played in England as well. So he's proven that he can handle the physicality as well, which is something that you can look at and be like, I think he can come in and replicate what he's doing over here.
No, the thing is, I'm not dissing Gyökeres. I think he's a good striker. I'm just comparing. Like, it's very comparable because when he was at Coventry, he didn't obviously pull down trees, did he? He was okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't bagging like 20 goals a season.
I think we're moving through a situation now, or a period where the strikers that were the best strikers in the world are like going into retirement now and they're getting older. Now there's going to be a period where it's going to be there's going to be a bit of a limbo situation where everything's thrown into limbo and I don't know whether the strikers are going to be able to. I think new strikers are going to come in. You're going to see younger strikers start to really gain traction with the fans, and you know what I mean. We're going to start to see new strikers that we're going to start to say, I think this striker's the best in the world. Obviously, it's Haaland right now, but yeah, I definitely think the striker market is on its arse at the moment.
This year says David Ornstein did report that this is talk about Samu Omorodion is in additional talks with Victor. Those talks with Napoli are still taking place. Reports would say it would move Jackson out to the left wing. Well, at least it means that Mudrik's not going to be stinking up the left wing anymore, which is a good thing for. It's a very good thing.
Don't do my boy Mudrik like that. Big up.
Would they get rid of him, or would it be too much of a
it's too much
financially? Would it be too much of a financial hit for them to get rid of
the thing is, they've already got 45 players. What's 46?
Yeah, exactly.
Just leave him there, bro. Just a coat hanger.
To me, Mudrik is a player who it's like,
bro.
If he can't smash it this year, I just think he's going to end up like 2 loans. Oh, he's got sold for 30 mil.
Yeah, I see that.
This is a call out to Patrick from Dio, who says, Patrick, when are you going to wear the Arsenal jersey? Based on your bet, be a man of your word. We had a bet. Honor your bet. Fraud.
Listen, allow the Ford stuff. Terry said from before that he was going to sort it out when the season starts. Do it properly.
I'll sort
don't call me
a
a fraud because like that's not on. Do you know what I mean? I'm a man of my
bet.
Like, literally, when Spurs played Arsenal, whoever won that game, then the rival or the other person would wear the shirt. But yeah, it's just not been sorted yet. But yeah, far
Patrick,
from
how could you ever make that bet? You wouldn't get me an Arsenal shirt for nothing.
Yeah, listen, I made the bet. We lost. It is what it is, and it's one of them ones. Like,
Big up, Patrick.
Yeah, it's one of them ones.
You can see the pain in his eyes, bro. You can see the pain in his eyes, bro. Listen, I made the bet.
Never again am I getting drawn out.
Nah, Dave, I don't.
What we'll do is we'll be back in the studio settings really, really soon. We're going to be announcing some stuff. We'll get Patrick in person in the studio in a kit. We'll do it. We'll do it properly in 4K. That is how we'll do it. Not in a little box on the screen. We're gonna do it right.
Not good.
Because I'm also I didn't tell you, I'm also waiting for Colleen to get back to the UK because Colleen wants to witness it in person. So she did ask me to not do it until she would. Yeah. Because you made Colleen.
Yeah, we made Colleen. So we had a bet, Colleen and I, a couple of years ago, Tottenham, Arsenal. He was going to finish it up. Obviously, we picked them to the post. She had to wear the big shirt in the stadium. She was hosting in the Spurs shirt. So yeah, like chill. It's going to happen, guys. It's going to be done properly. Don't worry about it.
Patrick, do you fancy a bet at Chelsea versus Spurs at Stamford Bridge?
Nah, no way. Stamford Bridge as well. No way.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on Spurs away against anybody in the top six. I would never take that bet. Dio says, Patrick, all love, brother. Now, in fairness, Dio's a good guy. I don't think he meant it in a horrible way, to be fair. He's a nice lad, to be fair. There's red flags on Toney that we can't see, I think. Yeah, potentially. But potentially that's this is Chelsea working on a deal to sign 20-year-old striker for 40 million euros, independent of Lukaku and Osimhen talks between Chelsea and Napoli, expected to continue. Listen, it's going to be an interesting one if they bring them both in because it does add more firepower to Chelsea, which they massively need. Josh is back here again. It says Solanke. Oh, sorry, I already done that one from Josh. Sorry. Oh, thank you very much indeed. Sonny says Chelsea's plan is to follow everyone else's transfer targets, spend as much as possible to run the club into bankruptcy. Lol, they are doing amazing.
Go on, Dave.
I mean, it's just not true because no one here knows who Samu Omorodion is. So clearly, your club weren't scouting him. Clearly,
I mean, it kind of makes sense to spend as much as possible just to, you know what I mean?
You're acting like we don't sell big. He who shall not be named is leaving my club, and I could not be happier.
Well, how happy are you that Conor Gallagher is now going? He's leaving. He's becoming and by the way, 12 million a year Ati are paying him.
He's Mason Mount 2.0 because
is it legit though? Sorry, David, to cut you off. I saw that he was and ahhing and taking his time. Or is it done now?
No, he was and ahhing, but now it's done.
Okay.
Yeah, no, well,
they told him because they told him that PL2, bro. You want to play in the Premier League too, bro? You want to play with the kids?
No, he's Mason Mount 2.0. Everyone, the whole country's like, oh, why don't you Chelsea fans love him? He plays one time for your country, and everyone's like, get him out. I don't want to see him again. Those 45 minutes he played for England, everyone was like, yeah, that guy, you can't cook. And when Southgate says you can't cook. Get him out.
What did you, Will? What did you? There's some people. I've seen it on TalkSport today. I've seen some Chelsea fans state that the club has treated Conor Gallagher disgracefully with the way they've sort of forced him out. How do you see it, Will?
Yeah, W move by Chelsea. This is not a Disney movie. It's a business. And I think Chelsea, right? Like, there's a reason why they're arguably the best-selling club in England because they're ruthless in the market, right? They, you see them all the time. They got like 40,000 kids that are out on loan, and they sell them for big profit. But yeah, I think like people just always want to blame the clubs for everything, and they always want to side with the players. If Conor Gallagher, according to all the reports, Chelsea offered him, I think, 3 extensions that he's rejected this summer. He was trying to leave for free next summer. Why would Chelsea allow him to still be there? Yeah, I'd banish him too. He'd be training with the under 8s. You're not about to leave for free, and then I'm still paying you and then playing you every single week. So yeah, I think if Chelsea didn't force him out the door, then it could kind of be like what Liverpool might go through next summer if they lose Trent, right? You just lost a valuable player for nothing. Hey. So I think, look, like Chelsea,
Trent,
the way that Chelsea do business, regardless of if we like what Bowley and Clear Lake or whoever the hell owns them is doing, They know how to sell players. And I think it's a good move for Chelsea. And I think it's a good move for Conor Gallagher because he's not as shit as everybody wants to make him out to be. Like, he's a decent player. And bro, he fits that Atletico system as well. Like, he's going to run, and that's what Diego Simeone wants.
I will say that.
It works for both
that. That terrorism football, he suits it perfectly.
Bro, it's not terrorism. It's not terrorism.
Bro, it is, bro. It is. I will never forget watching them man at Anfield just ruin Liverpool's day. I'll never forget. It was
what is this?
The greatest footballing days of my life. It was incredible.
David, can I
That's
ask
like
you
sad.
question?
That's so
David,
sad, bro. Honestly,
David. All jokes aside, yeah. Like I know I'm a Spurs fan, but when I watched you last year, I genuinely thought Conor Gallagher was your second best player. Like after Cole Palmer, no, I'm with Will here. He's not as bad as you lot make him out to be. Like every year you lot scapegoat a player, and this year for whatever reason he's been scapegoated. When I watched you lot play last year, obviously Cole Palmer took off and went mental, like probably quarter way in through the season, throughout the rest of the season. But for the first quarter of the season and going for, he was probably your most consistent player. Like, he's not as bad as you lot make him out to be.
Do you know what it is? He's one of those players you look at and you go, while you are still in this squad, we won't do well.
Wait,
he looks good. Let me explain. He himself looks good. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, this guy like looked bad playing. No, he looked good. But I'm looking at the bigger picture going, well, when you're sprinting around, chasing the ball around constantly, and you leave Caicedo on an island by himself, surrounded by 5 players, of course Caicedo's going to make loads of mistakes because there's just no one around.
Wow, so it's Gallagher's fault. Caicedo was
I'm not saying it's Gallagher's fault. What I'm saying is that for what I think Chelsea's best, like how I would want Chelsea to play, he doesn't suit it.
No, but I agree with you.
I also think he's incredibly technically limited. Like give him the ball in midfield and ask him to progress it forwards with a pass. He can't do it. He looks like Declan Rice in an England shirt. That's what we were dealing with. I can't do that.
Wait, so like what I was trying to say is like when I said that he's not shit, right? To me, how I view Conor Gallagher is a player to come off the bench, right? Like having him as a squad player. Yeah, like I would definitely, I think like at Chelsea coming off the bench, yeah, he could do some things, but no, he's not good enough to start. I don't think for like a team like Chelsea, and I don't know, maybe even at Letty. I mean, but if they spent that much money on him, then maybe he does start. But yeah, for me, I think him coming off the bench is where I think Chelsea saw him if he would have extended because he's not better than Enzo, he's not better than Caicedo, and then where else is there for him to be if it's not in that pivot?
Yeah, and so they bought Dewsbury Hall, which means he's going to play. You don't buy Dewsbury Hall to make him your 5th choice centre back. Lavia's looked good in pre-season. I agree, it's the right thing to do. I didn't get the whole sentimentality thing. They treated him wrong. No, they didn't. He wanted to try and force a move away. The club wanted to get some money for him, so they flexed, and he said, "Okay, boss," and he left. Like I think they did the absolute right thing, Chelsea.
You know what it is, Terry? It's like the fan bases are so like emotional, like football fans, especially like on Twitter. It's like they get attached to these players, and it's like Conor Gallagher again. He's not shit, but he's not all that either for you to even care. It's not like this is like a legend of the club.
Yeah, it's not like
my point is that for Chelsea fans, it was like you have this weird set of Chelsea fans that are like, if we sell Conor Gallagher, we riot. And I can't back that. I can't. He ain't good enough. Sorry.
Riot.
Sorry. He ain't good enough.
And he wanted to leave. Yeah. He rejected 3 contract extensions. So should the club just let him leave for free?
Yeah.
No, let him go train with the under 6s. Like, let him go train with the kids.
Will, he's proper Chelsea, so what
but you know what? Sometimes, you lot say rejected.
Yeah, mate. You know what I mean, mate? You know what I mean, guys? Do you know what I mean?
You know what? When you lot say rejected contracts, maybe the terms of the contract weren't favourable for him. Like, it's always about the club. Obviously, look at from the player's standpoint. I don't obviously know the ins and outs. I don't really care per se, but I'm just trying to say that I was reading they only offered him a 2-year and maybe a 1-year extension and all of this rubbish. The money wasn't great. Why would he accept that?
Wait, bro. But then can I ask you a question? The club, they still made him some offers, right? He's rejected them. So now we have to force you out. I think the player was trying to do what's best for him. The club was trying to do what's best for them. It's just business.
And ultimately, I support Chelsea, not Conor Gallagher. Sorry, Conor.
That element I agree with completely because if the club said, okay, all right, Conor, we'll keep you on the bench this year. You can leave for free next year. That damages Chelsea. And I actually saw Mark Goldbridge today do this thing about buying Man United players, and we'll get onto us in a minute. Just pay it. I can't advocate this notion of hemorrhaging money both on sales and on purchases. Don't overpay for players if you can help it, and try not to let people leave below their value. Otherwise, what will happen is you run out of money. This is the long and the short of it. You end up where Barcelona are now, where although they keep pretending they don't have financial issues, they clearly do. So you need your club to. Chelsea have done the right thing by Chelsea Football Club. They've offered him probably a position at the club which suits his standard of play based on how they want to perform. He said no to it, which is fair, but we've got to sell you now, mate. Otherwise, you're going to cost us 40 odd million pounds plus a year of salary. So in the end, he ends up costing what, 30, 45, 50 million. Yeah, they've done the right thing in my humble opinion. Big up to the panel. We'll come back to some predictions a little bit later. Speaking of money issues, we mentioned it backstage. Frenkie de Jong reportedly offered to Man United for 35 to 40 million pounds by Barcelona. What should Man United do, Will? Should they jump on this like a bitch in heat, or?
I think it's a matter. That's crazy. I think it's a matter of your pride because he rejected you guys already when you were chasing him like all summer. So but he's a good player. But those wages are crazy. He would have to take a massive pay cut. Aren't they saying that he's on like 600K a week? Like that's what players are going to Saudi for, and he's getting that at an elite club like Barcelona. Look, he's a decent player, but to be honest, I think with the emergence of Kobbie Mainoo, the need for him isn't as much as what it was when you guys were first in for him, because he kind of similar profile to what Mainoo is, right? I think United right now need more of like a defensive-minded like destroyer that can do the dirty work behind Mainoo, like not another player that's going to be good on the ball and want to progress it and carry and stuff like that. But I think for 30, you said 30 to 40 M's, yeah, it's a good deal. And you do need squad competition anyways, right? Like at a big club like Manchester United, you should have like two really good players at each position that you could rely on in case of injuries and whatever. But I would do the deal though, yeah. If he agrees to a massive pay cut, you can't be getting that.
Why aren't Arsenal in for this?
I would take him in a heartbeat, mate. I would take him in a
midfielder that would push the needle for them.
I think it's the wages. Like to me, that'd be the only reason why a club's not going.
The only reason why he's on those wages now, I think it's like 720 something K a week. The only reason why those wages is what he's on now is because they didn't pay him for I think a span of a year. They didn't pay him any money.
Yeah, I think his contract was like 350, 400 grand a week. And then he deferred during lockdown and just after when there was no fans, he deferred his salary for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So the way they did it, and I bet he regrets the way he did it now, is it wasn't that he was going to get a big lump sum payment. It was just we would add the balance to the rest of your contract. Yeah. That's the reason why. That's the reason why he didn't come to Man United. Man United said at the time, we are not paying you 700,000+ pound a week salary.
That's crazy.
Or paying the deferred wages. And Barcelona said, well, we're not going to pay those deferred wages off. So if you leave, you're going to take a contract. He was basically going to lose 17 to 20 million euros if you join Man United. So I agree with you completely. There's an element of like pride where I look at it and go, how many big sagas have happened where the potential buyer hasn't won and then the player has joined a year or two later? It's rare, actually. Clubs normally move on from it. At the same time, no one's paying Frenkie de Jong what he's earning now. So if he leaves Barca, he is going to have to take a massive pay cut, and he knows it. But he must have had the majority of that money back by now. But yeah, Barca, they accepted a bid from us a couple of years ago at 70 to 80 million. I think Xavi was a big part of why he stayed as well. Xavi is obviously now gone. But if I'm being honest, as long as he agreed to sensible wages, I would love Frenkie de Jong at Man United. I think you had him, Mainoo, Ugarte, Bruno. That's a solid midfield. That is a solid midfield that has every element you need, from ability to break up play, maintain possession, create chances. I love it. But I agree with David. I do agree with David. This is the kind of midfielder that for 35, 40 million, that's something Arsenal have got to be looking at, because I think he's a 70, 80 million pound player. So yes, the wages might go up. Maybe the wages go up slightly. Yeah. If you're getting him at 35 million, it's
funny enough, Terry.
Neither here nor there.
I could honestly see him ending up at Man City if that's how much they want for him, because City, they do need a player next to Rodri, right? They're relying on Kovacic, and then what? Matthias Nunes had just taken up the Calvin Phillips bench role, just touring stadiums. But I mean, yo, like he fits that Pep system as well with the skill set like that he has, and I don't think that they're gonna be scared to spend that kind of money.
Bro, touring stadiums, crazy.
Bro, like where are all the links to the center mids? They were getting linked to Bruno Guimaraes a few months ago, and that's all died down. And if Barcelona are shopping him for that low, I could definitely see City going in for him.
Yeah, I think especially with KDB kind of being like on the way out kind of thing. KDB is nowhere near as robust and as dynamic as he used to be. Still an excellent player, but you can see the guy's definitely getting injured more, taking longer to recover and all of that. Yeah, if they get Frenkie de Jong, that is insane. I think everyone should be after. Terry said he could instantly improve Man United, instantly improve Arsenal, give them a lot more depth. He'd be fantastic at Liverpool. I know you guys have got a lot of midfielders, so probably not. But yeah, he's good across the board for any of the top 6 teams easily.
We ain't got a DM.
Yeah, true. Say yeah, you need one.
He would be absolutely great for us.
He's more of an 8 than a 6, right? I mean, I think like having him kind of sitting back as like a DM, you know, it's kind of like then like why buy him? You know, like if
I think him next to someone who's also good on the ball, but more or less a dictator, it can work and as a double pivot. If you get what I mean, he'd be the more dynamic midfielder that will drive forward, but someone next to him who could dictate play and pass the ball around and control the game.
I'd love him at Chelsea, but we've just spent too much on midfield. So
yeah, you got Caicedo, Enzo.
You don't need him. Yeah. See, like you got Caicedo, Enzo.
Also, he doesn't fit in the wage bracket, bro. The wage structure, broski. He ain't taking 100.
The only thing I would say as well, a comment came in actually from Joshua that said, "Have you seen his injury record?" Hell no.
Yeah.
Obviously, last season he had three. He had an ankle sprain out for 61 days and an ankle injury out for 35 days, and then he's still out now for 105 days with an ankle injury. So he's had 3 ankle injuries within a year, but he is kind of averaging 2 or 3 injuries every single season. And it appears like the older he's kind of getting, the longer they are. And I think that's something you have to, whoever looks at him at 27 years of age, which isn't too old because he's still in his pomp. But if there's injury, the last thing you want to do is drop 40 million on him, pay him 300 grand a week, and then he spends, whether you're Arsenal, City, or Man United, and he starts spending 50% of the season out injured. That would be my only concern. That's a great super chat.
You don't want to.
Can I caveat that?
Go on, then I'll go to Will. Go on, Ram.
I'm not too convinced about Barcelona's medical team because Ousmane Dembele was injury prone as hell at Barca. But his first season at PSG,
he played every game. Like Ousmane Dembele used to yawn and be out for 3 months, and now he's at PSG playing every single match.
There's something wrong with Barca's medical thing. I'm convinced. I am actually convinced there must be something wrong with their medical.
Well, I mean, there's something wrong with that entire club. You guys see their fans on TikTok donating money for them to be able to still
keep it for Nico Williams. Keep it for Nico Williams.
Bro. Like Barcelona are basically just GoFundMe. It's crazy. They set up campaign.
You know what? Yeah, I realized now. Yeah, Will's just sitting there on top of the world, bro. He's just laughing, bro, because the ops are just like
fantastic.
In the mud. The club's in shambles, bro. Like it's crazy.
The funniest thing for me is, bro. Do you know what kills me? Is I get a few strays thrown at me, but I get a number of DMs from Barca fans who go, "Terry, I can't believe you're falling for this lie that we've got problems at our club." And I sit there and think to myself, no, it makes me realize, of course, people believe in flat earth, right? The fact that these individuals are convinced by some liar online that there's no issues at Barcelona, the fact you can be convinced of that, no wonder people could be convinced that the earth was flat or dinosaurs are a myth or any other weird thing.
But you know what the thing is, though, Terry,
Donald Trump controls all the weather. Do you know what I mean? Barcelona, or whatever else it is.
They are liars, though, right? Because they generate hundreds of millions every single season. So, they do have money to spend, but they just have a lot of debt as well.
But that's it. The thing is, like in any business, there was a phrase like cash is king. Your turnover is somewhat irrelevant. It's about how much disposable money you have or how much cash you have left or how much profit you make. And as you say, because of their debt, they have all this money coming in because of the debt and then because of the contracts they have with players. there's almost no money left. They're like just about breaking even. And by the way, to maintain their level of income, they had to sell off so much assets that they own, which again generates money in the short term. But in the longer term, they're going to be worse off because, you know, they've and that's what I've said to a few Chelsea fans. Oh, our owners are brilliant. They're selling off all of our assets. That only works if you become successful again. Because if you don't, and you get financial issues again, they ain't nothing to sell, bruv. And if you don't have anything to sell anymore, and you don't get back to winning ways, there, because when you win, look at Real Madrid, their turnover is going to go up past £1 billion again due to more success they've had and commercial success, like signing someone like Jude Bellingham and winning with him is going to generate. I mean, have you seen the new Adidas advert, by the way, where he's walking on fucking water? Like things like that, whether people like it or not. Things like that was a bit. I bet KJ was fuming at home. I bet KJ was fuming. I bet the organisers of the Paris Olympics were going, "Why F me?" Do you know what I mean? At that moment, but that wasn't mocking it. To be fair, I thought it was a funny joke. But yeah, it's of course. And but the amount of trays I get and people DM me, you're talking shit. We've got money. We're rich. We've got no financial issues. I'm like, yeah, bruv, of course. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Doing weddings at half time and shit, and you ain't got no money issues. Fuck off.
Wait, but then do you think that Hansi Flick would have agreed to go there if they didn't make him any promises of spending money then? Because now, why would he go back to Barcelona and now they're about to sell, let's say, like Arroyo and Frenkie de Jong and all these other players that they do need?
I can't speak for Barca because I don't know enough about them, but I can draw an example. The amount of Man United managers in the last 11 years joined us, and then when they've contracts, after they've been sacked, and then the sort of the gag clause ends, they're like, I was promised X, Y, and Z. They convinced me, they showed me, and then they just went back on their word. I wouldn't be surprised if they sit down. Barca might not even be lying. They might be saying, this is our plan. We've got this kind of money. This is our plan. Might be a little bit of problems at the beginning, but when we achieve all these things, this is how much money we'll have, and you'll be able to spend like a king. But if some of those deals fall through, if some of the results don't go right, it becomes, I don't know, I'm not saying they're lying to him, but it can become a little bit of 6 of one and half a dozen of another. But the fact that they haven't got any real business over the line yet is crazy. But what they do have, Barcelona, is some serious young talent coming through, which, you know, their academy is obviously still working. But we'll see. But yeah, I'd take Frenkie de Jong at Man United. Obviously, United's other deals they're looking at. Fabrizio has essentially said today, and I'll paraphrase, but United fans relax. Maguire, De Ligt will be coming in. The situation with Ugarte is quite relaxed as well. Those 3 deals look like they're going to happen. Do you think United are ready to start their campaign this Saturday against Man City? Or do you think it's going to be a very painful season for them, Kate?
Well, I hope it's a painful season for you. Are you ready this Saturday? Probably not. Will you be ready by the start of the proper season? I don't know. On paper, it looks like you're doing some good business, in my opinion. But I think De Ligt will be a brilliant acquisition if you get him. Who knows? It's difficult to say. I think this season coming up is going to be so competitive. The top 4 this season is going to be the hardest I think it's been ever. So I expect Man United to improve on last year without any shadow of a doubt. I'm more concerned about how United will do than Chelsea. I still don't think Chelsea have done enough to get top 4. But I think Man United are moving in the right direction for sure. So I don't know. Until that window closes, I think it's really difficult to say where everyone's going to be. But I can understand why United fans are feeling positive. I think everything's sort of moving in the right direction for you guys. And, I don't want you to do well. But at the same time, Man United have always been a club I've grown up with being a massive club, being successful. So at the same time, it was always going to happen where United will build and eventually get back to that point. You've still got a long way to go to be that good, but like I say, everything to me seems to be moving in the right direction. But until that window closes and we see what everyone does, it's too early to say.
Who do you think is going to finish above, or who do you think is going to finish higher, Chelsea or Man United?
United.
Let's
Chelsea.
not even mention top 4. Let's just say
Chelsea.
United or Chelsea.
Chelsea.
United.
Yeah.
Bro, we're forgetting that Ten Hag is still their manager.
I was going to
He's a good manager.
Like, did everybody? He's
I
a good
think-
manager.
I think people are saying no. He's not a good manager. Big up Kate, but
he is a good manager though.
No,
he is a good
Ten
manager.
Hag,
You don't become a bad manager overnight. I'm sorry, but
Ten Hag is brain dead. But anyway, let's just the only thing I want to say for me, yeah, and I understand he's won trophies, but bro, some of the stuff that Ten Hag has done is actually laughable. But
he's committing crimes against
I just want to say the only glimmer of hope that Man United fans have is obviously they've had this whole thing where Dan Ashworth's involved and they're going to pick a specific style of play and he has to coach that style of play. There's no switching over to this style of play. There's no switching over to that style of play. He has to coach a specific style of play and then obviously get the players playing in that style of play, which I think would help the players. It would give them some sort of a comfortable situation where they can get their feet dug in and really start to get comfortable in the situation and get comfortable.
But do you believe that, bro?
With the system that they're playing?
Like,
so far, they
signings are like they reek of Ten Hag signings, right? It's two former Ajax players that he managed, right? Mazraoui's a backup that deals with injury problems, and De Ligt is coming off injury.
Also,
what about Ugarte and Lenny Euro? Sorry, and,
no. Well, no.
These other players, bro. They haven't just signed Ten Hag players, bro.
No, I know, but I'm talking about so it's 2 out of 3 deals right now that that we're talking about. I'm trying to talk about the Bayern ones, right? Like those to me are mid signings. Now I think De Ligt is needed because Euro is out, right? And I think like again, Euro, that was a great piece of business for you guys. And then I think Ugarte, like he's what you guys need in midfield. But I'm talking about just the Bayern deals, right? Like the De Ligt and Mazraoui. I don't really think that really moves the needle like that for Manchester United. He's basically the Dutch Maguire. He's slow.
Ooh,
he's not
that's harsh, man.
Bro,
that is harsh.
I think that people are still trying to give De Ligt credit for what they saw him do at 17 years old. But since he's gotten 2 big moves, right? He went to Juve, didn't work out. Now he's at Bayern Munich, not working out. You go to Manchester United, what's the trend here? It's probably not going to work out. And again, while Ten Hag is the manager of Manchester United, I don't see anything positive happening there. And I think the only hope that they have is that he gets sacked maybe before Christmas, and then maybe Van Nistelrooy could come in and save you guys. Because while he's there, you guys are going to get battered every week, getting outplayed, counterattacking football, and it's going to be awful. And we're going to see Terry ranting.
Just hang on a second, Ram. So have you watched Man United this preseason at all, Will?
A little bit. Because like some of the games have conflicted.
Yeah. But, you've definitely seen the change up in how we're trying to play football, right?
Well, last preseason, you guys were doing things different, right? You guys had Sancho playing false 9 and all these things. And then the season started,
that was hang on a minute. No. But it's not. I'm not talking about the false 9 position. The only reason Sancho played in false 9 in the last game is because of the injury to Rasmus and Xerxes being at the Euros. So that's. I'm talking about what we've done in and out of possession on the ball. There is a difference. Now, of course, there is an absolute chance that it doesn't work. I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't exist. I'm not going to say that it's 100% guaranteed to improve. But I'm not going to make any sweeping statements about Man United as of yet in terms of how good or bad we're going to be in the short term, because we suddenly have competent people running our football club. And the fact we've stuck with Ten Hag and the players are trying to sign tells me that essentially we've looked at it and gone, well, we brought a manager like Ten Hag in and didn't actually set him up to succeed. Now, what that doesn't mean is the basic interpretation of, well, you gave him 400 million, of course you set him up to succeed. Giving somebody carte blanche and complete control, you could actually argue, is under-supporting them because you're almost you're hanging them out to dry. Like this, we all here have got a skill set in the industry that we work in, but we also know as well how high our industries go. And if suddenly you were given the option, like Will, you're a very good content creator. I've seen you. But if you were suddenly told Sky Sports want you to be head of production for the Premier League all season,
I'm taking that. I'm there, Terry.
You're taking it, but you would die on your fucking ass because you do not have the experience to run Sky Sports. Like you just don't yet, right? You're too young. You're too inexperienced to run it straight away. And this is the point I'm making. And that's no dig at you. I said you're phenomenal at what you do.
Different, Terry. Like.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I bet.
Amazing numbers.
I bet you could run the whole of Sky Sports perfectly straight away, right? I bet. But this is the point I'm making. If say you got a job at Sky Sports and they went, "Do you know what, brother, you're running the show, you get to make all the decisions," you would die on your ass without the experience of or know-how of doing it. That is what would happen. So for me, when it comes to these signings, I look at it and go, well, I liked how Ten Hag played football at Ajax. We've gone and brought new coaches in that we have picked. We have brought some players that you would connect to that Ajax style of football. Because the biggest gripe we had as Man United fans is that we hadn't coached that style of football into our team. In pre-season, we've seen much better possession on the ball. The way we've pressed has been better. The way we've filled the midfield in out of possession has been better. And they were our 3 biggest weaknesses of last season. Playing out from the back was too poor. Our shape out of possession was horrendous. And we didn't press right as a team. And they're the 3 areas we're looking to improve on. So I'm not really worried. Equally, if Ten Hag fails, we've already made this very public, and the manager has stated it too. And this is great to see. This is a club project. So if he does foul, boom, you move him out, you bring a new manager in, just like your brilliant club, Real Madrid, does. So yes, you want your managers to succeed, but I'm no longer worried because we're not building the club in the image of our manager. Real Madrid wouldn't be successful if every manager that comes in was given carte blanche to run the club how he wanted. You would go the same way Man United did. You'd end up being fucked if you made a few bad appointments, because you'd always be playing catch up. So Man United fans have got to not be drawn in to Ten Hag conversations as the most important factor of our rebuild. It's how we're operating as a football club. And even if he is time for him to go, it's focused on who's employing him, who else we're looking at, and does it feel like a massive change in direction? Those are the early telltale signs that let you know if your rebuild is moving in the right direction. So I do get the criticism. So again, there'll be people in the comments that will say Terry's just coping. It's absolutely not. And there's zero waffle in what I'm saying either. I understand the challenge, but I think Man United are in a very unique position right now where everything is pie in the sky. Everything is just an opinion. And I think we've got to wait a number of months before we actually know the truth about whether Ten Hag's right or wrong, what this rebuild looks like. Even Ten Hag failing is a bit of an acid test that I don't want to see, but I kind of do. Because if you go from him to a similar manager who plays similarly but gets better out of this team, then you know you've got a club project. If we go from him and then go and get Simeone, I'm going to be more concerned than keeping Ten Hag, because that tells me, well, we have got no long-term plan. And a lack of long-term plan at Man United has been the biggest reason why we're here. So I get all the challenge, and I have some of these concerns as well. I'm not going to lie, but the problem is I've got for the first time in 11 years what I've asked for, and that's competent football decision makers running my club. So therefore, I think, and I know it's going to take years to fix. So therefore, I can't be ranting and throwing baby out with the bathwater 5 or 6 weeks in, just because not every decision has been one that I agree with. I think we're a unique situation compared to some other members of the sort of Premier League top 6 in that regard.
Just quickly, there's been breaking news for Danny Olmo that apparently Manchester City Santi J has said that Manchester City have sent an offer in for Danny Olmo as well as Barcelona. They were going to do something, weren't they? They were going to do something, Manchester City, with Alvarez going. They were never going to sit on their hands, Man City. They're too well run as a football club. They've got their ducks in a row too much. But again, I know he's Spanish, but surely he's got to pick Man City. Surely you're not going to reject the best team in the world right now to go and play.
He's going Barca
for
Brokeback
Mountain.
No, he's from Barca. He's from their academy. Like he was there.
Yeah,
it's a bit like Bilbao. I feel like with a bit like Bilbao and Iñaki Williams. Iñaki Williams is a Bilbao boy. Danny Olmo's a Barca boy, came through the academy and everything. You know, it's just one of them ones. You know.
We got the ice cream man
are a bigger club.
Hey, big up the ice cream man at the back. You know what I mean? Doing its rounds.
Sarge, can I just say, you disrespect Ten Hag and give him loads of stick, and he's won more in his 2 years at United than Arteta has in his time at Arsenal.
Yeah, that's fine. He's won trophies, but anybody can tell you that leading up to winning those trophies, he also had bozo moments and nearly lost them.
Yeah, but all managers have bozo moments, Sarge. Arteta is not God. Just so you know.
No, but I'm not even saying that Arteta is.
No, but you're slating off Ten Hag, who's more successful than your manager. And you're slagging him off.
So guys,
she's not lying though, bro.
Really
She's not lying.
This?
She's not lying. Ten Hag is more successful.
That's fine. That's fine. He may be more successful, but he also has bozo moments. We've seen this. The fact what he done with the season last season.
Say that again. Say it again. Say it again.
He also has bozo moments.
No, before that. He's been more what?
He's been more
successful.
Damn, son. Damn.
Right, you lot are Sard. It's actually unbelievable, bro. What's going on?
Sard, let's not go back to season 2021 where Arteta was doing a Mazza as an Arsenal manager. Let's not forget that, man. He was doing
no, but he was not doing a Mazza. The players that he had were doing a Mazza, bro. If you look at the defense that we had back then, bro, it was crazy.
So that's not the same for Ten Hag, no? That's not the same for Ten Hag. It's his fault, but Arteta, it's not his fault. It's the players. Let me just get that right.
No, but he had players there, bro, that could do a job for him. So let's not act like
what did Arsenal have then?
You're acting like he had complete shit there, bro. I had Mustafi, Kolasinac. Hold on, no. Hold on a minute, guys. Hold on a minute, because you might not gonna get me back.
No way.
Tap into my PTSD, bro. I had Kolasinac, Mustafi, and fucking David Luiz in the back. Doing madness,
bro. I swear that was
potato with the ball.
No, wait, hold on, wait. But
they're doing a hot potato with the ball, bro.
Hang on, and
he managed to get them to win a trophy, bro.
Very quickly.
Exactly. So then that team was more successful than what he's done. 650 million later. So like, how could you forget they had Lindelof as well? That team. And the thing is, bro, like, I actually like Arsenal. Like that's my favorite English team. But I don't like how people they curse out that old squad and say it's toxic and all the other things. But if it was not for that squad, Arteta would have nothing.
But brother, it's not even just about if he didn't have that old squad, it would be for nothing. It was his tactics that managed to get them that trophy. It wasn't the players. It wasn't how good the squad was. It wasn't how good the squad was.
No way. It was
Hold on. One sec, guys.
Yeah, big up to Aubameyang, of course. Big up to Aubameyang as well.
So 2 years ago, when you lot should have won the league, like you were hands down the best team in the league. You had a massive gap on Man City, and you faltered at the end. You lost to us. You lost this game, that game. Was it the players or Arteta then?
Listen, man, we had injuries. You know what I mean? Saliba got injured. I'm not even speaking about that day, bro.
Listen, he did that. I prefer not to speak.
That smile was crazy.
I don't even smile, but listen, I think it was partly to blame. Both parties were there to be blamed, bro. I think the players were there to be blamed, but also the manager to a certain extent. But I'm just saying, I can't compare what Arteta's doing to what Ten Hag was doing, even though Ten Hag has been more successful in regards to trophies. If you look at his actual overall body of work in the league, it's been disgusting, bro. Like, he got third in his first season, fair enough. I congratulate you for that one. You actually got third, and you look like the third best team in the league. But the last season was an absolute disgrace, bro. It was an absolute disgrace.
It was, but I'm not gonna. I did want him to be. I mean, that went in what I was going to say.
I'll talk about in the league.
And I understand that. But my view on it is this. I wanted him gone. And the main reason, and if people want to twist my words, they can, was because I felt that a rebuild would be quicker with somebody new. However, where I defended Ten Hag is we were an absolute calamity from top to bottom, inside out of the football club. And I don't think any manager would have succeeded with the way we were operating. And this is the problem when it comes to the conversation around Man United. Too often we talk about what we've been through in the last 11 years like we were being well run. And it was just a couple of players or a manager that was struggling. It was everything top to bottom, inside out. So the only thing I would say is this. It's a whole new world at Man United right now. Doesn't mean year one we're going to be the best team in England. No dickhead is making that claim. But I think we're one of the few in the top six I think are hard to assess right now because so much has changed. And we don't know whether that change is going to yield improvements instantly or in the medium to long term. But back to who we were actually talking about, Olmo to Manchester City, before we got sort of sidetracked there. I do get his Barca collections and everything else. But I don't know. Again, if maybe I'm being biased towards the Premier League slightly. No, I'm not being biased towards the Premier League because the league is amazing. I'm being biased because Barcelona, I think, are a fucking mess. And I just feel that he could ruin himself going there. But this comment here, I don't know much about this player, but this here says Barca have Fermin Lopez. They need Nico, not Olmo.
Fermin Lopez is so mid. He's so mid. Give it up, Barca fans. Give it up. Give it up.
And even then, wouldn't you want someone that's a little bit more older to be the starting 11? And if he is going to be that good, then let him grow naturally. Why would you want to throw him right into the deep end?
Well, but that's what Barca they want to do. They're they moving like never mind. But they just want to like rely on young kids now. Like that's just how Barca are operating nowadays. But Terry, the thing about Dani Olmo possibly going to Man City, I think. From his POV, right? He's Spanish. He's from Barcelona's academy. I think maybe he's gonna look at it like, yo, look, Madrid just signed like Mbappe. They got Vinny, Rodrigo, like all those big players, right? I think maybe he's looking at it like he could be a part of like that squad that challenges them, and then like if you get it over them, what I'm trying to say. Like he want to be a part of like the resistance, right? Link up with Lamine Yamal and all these other guys, and then maybe it's kind of like, well, and the thing is, right? Like if you're a creative player and you go to Man City, like they score a lot of goals, right? Win trophies, but Pep kills the creativity out of a lot of players. And I think if Dani Olmo goes there, right, then people might be talking about him in 2 seasons how they talk about Jack Grealish. That's why I'm kind of worried about Savio, because Savio's a good player, but I feel like Pep might have him playing like left wing back sometimes. So I feel like all that stuff kind of I think plays a factor like into it. I don't think it's just like Man City or
no. That's certainly how they can sell it, because if that kicks off next year and both teams look good, the sort of media attention that's going to get and the potential for legacy is massive. That's a really good point. This here says, where's it gone? How successful have Spurs been, Kate?
Listen, right? This is why you can't banter with certain football fans these days, because the point of the conversation was nothing to do with Spurs. I know what Spurs are and I know where we are, and everyone will tell you I know exactly what Spurs are and what they can and can't do. But when someone sat next to me telling me that a manager that's more successful than their own manager in the last couple of years is shit, he's got to justify that when that manager's been more successful than the guy he's defending. Arsenal fans get very emotional and sensitive over Mikel Arteta, right? I'm not denying he's a good manager. I'm not denying that. But what I'm saying is don't sit there and say Ten Hag's this, that, and the other when he's won more trophies in 2 years than your manager's won in 5. That's it.
Yes, man. Why are you getting attached to Arteta, man?
Listen, I'm way past the conversation. If we're gonna speak about and just go. I don't know what Tel's doing with this soundboard, bro. Actually moving parts.
I just found out this mixer's got one. I didn't know it had one. What does this one do? Oh, piano. Oh, it's Alexis Sanchez, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, let's move back on with some of these points here. I love when Arsenal fans slate Ten Hag for finishing 8th, but try to erase history when their boy did it back-to-back years, along with choking top 4 and the title twice, and they hyped up Mickey.
Go on, Saad.
Surely that's got to get a sound effect, Terry. Surely that's got to get a sound effect.
Go ahead. The reality of the situation though is if any one of these guys on the panel right now wanted the manager and they had to pick between Erik ten Hag and Mikel Arteta, who are they choosing, bro?
Yeah, but that wasn't the
The choice is pretty easy. Yeah, give it a rest, bro. Give it a rest. Give it a rest. Ten Hag. If anybody chooses Ten Hag, then it's shocking. But anyway. We move, man. I know my manager's good, and I don't really need to.
Matthew said, "Which one would you take at Spurs today, Kate? Would you take Ten Hag or would you take Arteta?"
I wouldn't take Arteta, even if he's a better manager, just because he's from that lot down the road. So I'll take Egghead. Thank you.
Respect, bold.
There we go.
What are we doing here, man?
There we go. How is he average? He was Barca's second highest scorer.
Yeah, no, Fermin Lopez is not, he's just an average player, but he's from the academy, so they gas him up.
Boomaguna says, by your logic, Emery should have been flying with Arsenal. People still regard Emery as a better manager.
Because he is a better manager than Arteta, but he didn't get the backing and the time. He was only there for like, what, a season and a half, and then Arsenal sacked him.
And the irony is, in Arsenal's only cup run where they won, it was Emery literally that got them to that final. Like
it was his squad.
2 games.
It was his team, man.
It was his squad.
No, it wasn't Emery. No, that can't be true. Hang on. I've got to jump in here. Facts. Hang on. No. Emery was sacked before the FA Cup had even started. That's
still Emery's team, bro.
No, but it's still his team.
It's still Emery's team.
Hold on, guys. If Unai Emery could not win anything with his team, then why is somebody else coming in and winning something with his team?
He was only there for a year and a half, bro. He didn't get
no, but if he couldn't win anything with his team, if you're saying this is Unai Emery's team, that was Unai Emery's team that he won it with, so he should have won something with his team. When he did have an opportunity, hold on. When he did have an opportunity to go and win something with his team, guess what happened? He got bent over and slapped up by Chelsea. So let's not try and make this team.
By the way, so let's say
he won something with his team.
So let's say if Unai Emery had like what? He's been here for like 4.5 years, and if he's had like damn near 700 million to spend, you think that Arsenal they want to win a trophy?
Can I say one?
I don't know if they would have. They wouldn't.
Can I say one thing though? One thing we've got to do with Arteta though, we've got to keep like the logic the same, and that is you kind of discounted the failures of Unai Emery because he'd been there a year and a half. If you take a year and a half away from Arteta, it means his 2 8th place finishes disappear. Are you willing to remove, based on just on your logic, Will, are you willing to remove and never speak of the 8th place finishes that Arteta had and what went wrong in those first 18 months as well then?
Wait, but why would I do that? Because
you said
Emery in his first season, he came 5th.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't
because you discounted Emery's failure because he was only given a year and a half. So surely that means that every manager's first year and a half, you're going to have to discount.
No. So the reason why I brought up his time that was at the club is because I'm saying they got rid of him almost immediately. Like they didn't really give him any room for error before they decided to get rid and move on. And it kind of sucks because Emery was always going to fail at Arsenal because he was the manager that came in directly after Wenger. It's like you never want to be the guy that comes in after the main guy leaves. You know, it's like a rebound thing. So that's why I think Arteta's been given so much time despite his lack of silverware is because of that FA Cup. And
I think it's partly, but he won the FA Cup. But I think the reason why he's been given more time is because actually it was partly because Wenger left. But it was because Unai Emery stepped into an environment that was still toxic, which it was in the last 3 or 4 years under Wenger. The difference being, it's only through learning and listening that I've understood this, is like what Man United are doing this summer with changes at sort of board and football decision-making level. That all happened at exactly the same time that Arteta came in. So that's one of the reasons why I think there's been more time given to him, because the club realized it had to basically knock itself down to build itself back up. So, and that's why I think... Go on.
I think that then that also then helps the argument for Unai Emery being the better manager because his first full season.
I agree. Unai Emery's CV is absolutely better than Mikel Arteta's. I'm not denying that, but equally that doesn't mean he was the right person to help rebuild a club. And this is as a Madrid fan, and most Madrid fans alive, you can't relate to a rebuild because your club's never had to. Thankfully for you, your club has never had to go through one where your club for a decade or two has fallen from grace and been nowhere near the superpower that it is. Part of me wants it to happen, not out of spite, just so Madrid fans can understand that, do you know what? It isn't just about saying go and fucking win and booing and waving white flags in the crowd. Sometimes you have to take a step back to move forward. Like,
no, but Chelsea, I mean, well, sorry,
it's not even. Hold on, Will. Can I just say one thing as well? A lot of people forget what happened with Unai Emery. Do you realize that he lost complete control of the dressing room? Complete control.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Do you realize in training, Hector Bellerin, and Rob Holding were taking the piss out of the guy. In training, while he's training the team, they're sitting there saying good evening to his face.
Yeah, but that's
laughing at him, bro.
That's
Like,
lack of
this
respect
is the
because of the
situation.
language
Yeah,
barrier.
exactly.
No,
But this is the
that's a
situation.
lack of
And the
respect
thing
because
that
the
pisses out of him.
culture, the culture at the club was poor, and this is the
That's it.
problem.
That's not
This is the thing. All right, again, this is where I also thought Ten Hag was going to go, because my belief was, and it ended up being wrong, is it lost the dressing room, and I don't think you can recover that. Turns out that wasn't the case, so the situation is different. And I think that if the players loved Unai Emery, we're going to run through brick walls and we're loving him, he would have been the manager, irrespective of how bad he was doing, that the club would have stuck with for the rebuild. But the problem is, if you've got a situation where you need a manager that the players buy into, but none of them like him, or a big group don't like him, it's sometimes quicker and easier to just remove that problem and start again. But just in the interest of time, we are going to run out of time on this. I want to go to some more of these super chats here. It says, well, he got 5th and then started regressing massively. That's why he got sacked. How is he average? Sorry, already done that one there. As were Arsenal when Arteta won the FA Cup. Thank you, Craig. Keep Ten Hag with a 38-game embarrassing league campaign, domestic trophy to paper over the cracks. Wenger had many such seasons. We'll see what happens next year. I think with United, I think we've already been through the United situation and why I see it as potentially different. Remember, we said potentially. Will you think Chelsea will slow Colwell toss it? Sorry, will you think Chelsea will slow Colwell tossing who can't pass, and Bozo Disasi at the back will make them top 4, but United with Martinez and De Ligt can't really?
Yeah, because I think Chelsea have a better overall squad than United. I like their players.
Really? I appreciate you, Will. I appreciate you, Will.
Okay, well, I mean, look, like,
because
no, hold on, wait, no, see, but if you really like want to break it down, right? Chelsea have a good squad. They just need a striker, and they would have had a much better season last season if Nicholas Jackson could put the ball into the back of the net on a consistent basis.
United's.
Bro, Chelsea should have won the Carabao Cup versus you guys. They outplayed y'all that game.
And they didn't. You know why? Because our
Nico
kids were better.
Jackson. No, because Nico Jackson can't.
Also,
can I just have the best right back in England, right?
Let's not forget Gakpo's. Gakpo hit the post 4 times in that
fit.
game. Yeah, let's not doing that.
I said Reece James the best right back in England. Is crazy.
Reece James is the second best right back in the world when he's fit, right behind Danny Carter.
Can I just highlight?
That's the key word.
Can I just say? You know, we did finish above United last year. I just want to say we did finish above them last year. I know we were in the Conference League because they won the FA Cup, but we actually did finish above them.
But David, the whole point of that is that Poch was also the guy that helped you got that 34 points in 2024.
Yeah, no, but also, I could argue Poch is a reason why we're in that position in the first place. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. That's not my personal opinion, but there were some games where I'm looking at Poch going, bro, what are you doing? And I'm just saying.
They outplayed Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. They outplayed Man City in the FA Cup semifinal, but they just had nobody to put the ball into the back of the net. If Nicholas Jackson, but what I'm saying is that everybody just wants to just be like all doom and gloom with Chelsea, but they have a good squad. Like you have to look at it by the players that they have. Come on, bro, don't lie.
Yeah, that's cool, but it's not better than United. I hate United. I don't want to give Terry's team any credit at all, but Terry's team, United's team, is better than Chelsea overall squad.
How? They're relying on Megan Rapinoe, Marcus Rashford.
They got a better goalkeeper.
What are we talking about here?
Did you say Megan Rapinoe?
He's Megan Rapinoe.
Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony, Boylan, Scott McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw. I'm naming you all bums.
You just call
Garnacho
a lesbian.
Come on.
Hey, that's crazy.
Garnacho a lesbian.
Big up Garnacho, man.
No, wait. To be fair, it's like a nickname that I have for him. Like
Will's nuts.
Megan Rapinoe is class. Oh my god, I'm crying.
Will's crazy, bro.
Nah, but I'm saying like most of United squad are filled with very average players. Like that's what I'm trying to say, bro. Like they're not a good squad.
I could say the same thing about Chelsea's team.
Okay, so if you did
average.
Okay, wait, bro. But if you did a combined 11, I think that you could maybe fit more Chelsea players in than you do United.
But again, can I
Personally,
just
no.
jump in for a minute? Because a lot of United fans say, why aren't you going to defend United? I sometimes just let people talk and then we'll see what happens in the reality of the world. It's very easy for a Madrid fan to sit here shitting everybody else's squads because of where they sit. So it's hard to take shots. We always know why Will, sitting in America, picked Real Madrid. He went, who's a team that no one can take a shot at? He picked Real
that's
Madrid.
not true. That's not true.
The Dons.
That was a reason. 2014
World Cup. That's the first time I ever watched the sport, right? I thought that y'all scored.
And you picked the best team in the world just after they won the Champions League.
No, wait, because I thought that James Rodriguez, without me really having context, I thought he was the best player like in the world, like after that World Cup. So I followed him. Yeah.
And you obviously you just won the Champions League. He went, I'm picking them.
Well, I didn't know that.
You signed James Rodriguez. You knew you just won the Champions League.
Bro, I promise you.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny though? I'm not having a dig because I've got a lot of American. Isn't it funny that you never meet an American content creator that loves football and knows football because you do understand the game? Who went, I picked Wigan. It's always Man City. It depends on the age, right? Depends on the age. If they're like mid to low 20s, they're either Madrid, Barca or City fans. If they're my sort of age, they're all Man United, Arsenal, or Liverpool fans. It's literally it's not even a dig. I would just rather people tell the truth, right? And just admit I picked Real Madrid because they're the best team in the world. Javern, right? Started watching football at like 15. He picked Chelsea because they were the best team around at that time. And I actually respect that more than someone said I picked it because like my mum used to watch a lot of The Only Way is Chelsea or whatever it's called. And I liked it. It's like me saying, I picked Man United because my mum was a big fan of Coronation Street, which is a soap over here based in Manchester. I picked Man United because David Beckham played for him. And Beckham and me are from the same part of East London. And that was kind of it. And I got bought a shirt by mistake. My nan messed up, by the way, and I'm so glad she did. She was meant to get me a Spurs shirt for Christmas. So my dad was trying to like corrupt me. And my nan went and got the shirt for him. And God bless my nan's soul. She went to heaven for this exact reason. Because she accidentally bought a Man United away kit that was white. And that's what I got on. That was before Beckham was even in the first team. So I was sitting there. I thought I had a Spurs shirt on. And my dad was fuming Christmas Day. And I just remember wearing it. And I was so young, I couldn't even read. I remember thinking Sharp said Man United. Because I'd go Man United. I remember doing that as a kid. And then Beckham was all part of their squad. So that's why. But anyway, well, we digress. We know why you picked him, Will. We know why you didn't pick Espanyol. Why didn't you pick Espanyol?
Look, bro. Great thing, though.
Why you pick Stevenage?
Hold on, wait, bro. I don't mind the Glory Hunter allegations. Like, it's perfectly fine, bro. Like, I'm an American that picked a European team. I didn't pick the New York Red Bulls. So it is what it is. It's like how there's UK fans that like the Lakers. I see.
No, bro, but this is it. But this is exactly my point, right? This is exactly my point. Like, I'll give you the example. I support the Ottawa Senators in ice hockey because when I was in Ottawa, I went and watched them.
Okay.
Most English people that I know that support a basketball, a hockey, or an NFL team always seem to pick the most successful ones, and it's because it's the same reason. Most do. Like growing up as a kid, all you ever saw was Chicago Bulls shirts. Why? Because I grew up in the 90s. There's one reason why everybody was doing it. There's a reason. It's the reason why the Yankees are the most famous basketball team, because when the blow up happened, they were the most successful side. It's just how it is. It's not a dig.
Basketball team.
And by the way, there's no local team to any American, so it doesn't matter who you pick. And trust me, if City drop off, City get relegated because they're guilty. Say it happens, right? In another 10 years' time, you will not see a single kid in America pick City as his team. That's why I don't believe we had an American come on once. And you all know the Football Terrace, we welcome all voices. I don't care why you support a team. Just care about your opinions. He tried telling us that he had a City kit from when he was a little kid. And he was like 30. He went and got it and he put it on. One, it fit him as a grown man. And two, the sponsor said that he had Airways. He tried to flex it.
There's nothing wrong with the Glory Hunter like allegations. Like,
there's nothing wrong.
Because being American, right? So you guys don't get it, but oh my gosh, if I showed you guys my DMs on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, oh bro, stick to ball, bro, and all the like football and like NBA, but like it's perfectly fine. Like it's nothing. It's cool. I don't really care.
I love the bruv.
Bro, you don't know ball, bro.
See, that's where, and that's the element of it where I don't like the gatekeeping. Like you can, doesn't matter that you pick Real Madrid or your reasons. You understand football, and it's true. Doesn't mean I agree with all your opinions, but that element's true. This is a big claim. This is going to trigger Sard. It says Man United will win the Premier League before Arsenal.
Yeah, Star-Lord, stop taking drugs, bro. You're taking Star Dog, bro. That's what you're taking. Stay away from drugs, guys. If you stay away from drugs, kids, otherwise you'll end up like this guy. Anyway.
So, what about
on Arsenal? Sorry, we're going to run out of time. I've got to get through these bits now. On Arsenal, link today to Yilmaz.
Yeah, nah.
What do you make of this? What do you make of this link, bro?
I watched him in the Euros. Yilmaz. Yeah. Listen, I watched Yilmaz in the Euros, man. This guy's decision making is absolutely atrocious, man. I don't want him at my club. I'm fine. Apparently, it's fake news. From what I'm hearing, from people who support Galatasaray, they're saying it's fake news. But listen, I don't want him at my team. I think his decision making is very bad. It's not good enough for the top level. I think we should be looking more. If we're going to get somebody on that right side to be a backup to Saka, we should be looking in the Premier League. I've always said that. You need to look in the league and actually get somebody who's been in the league and has experience playing in the Premier League. Like, going and trying to get Yilmaz now, nah, it's not good enough, bro. It's not good enough. This is where I put my foot down and actually say, no. I can understand where you're cooking on other side of the
I just want to stop you for a minute. I had a message of a good... hang on. I'm going to stop you. I've got a good message of a friend of mine that's Turkish saying, shut the fuck up. He's amazing. This prick doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Okay. I've watched him and he is not good, bro. So unless you want to sit there and sell yourself copium and you want to induce yourself in it, you can, bro.
How many games have you watched? I'm not trying to be cheeky, but how many times have you watched it?
I've watched him a good few times because my bro TKA has got me into last season. He got me into Galatasaray watching the Turkish league.
Oh,
no, seriously. Bro, why? What's going on here, bro?
Name me. If you watched all their games last season, name me.
No, I didn't watch. No, hold on. I did not watch all their games. I watched.
How are you into it then? How are you into it if you didn't watch it?
Yeah, because I started watching a few games, man. But I'm
not into it.
He doesn't. No, but I'm not saying I'm fully like die hard Galatasaray, bro. I'm there, bro. In the Turkish league, crazy. But I've seen a few games, man, and I don't think he's all that. A few
games.
Yeah.
You watched him in the Euros,
and plus I've seen him at the Euros as well, but. Listen, I don't think he's all that, bro. I don't think he's all that. I don't think
just watch it back. When Sad said it, it was like Galatasaray. He had to
he said properly, the accent as well.
Hey, let me alone, man. Can you let me just do my thing, bro?
No, I'm saying, hey, if you want to watch the Super League, I'm messing with it because I watch man. And them man.
If you're gonna say that you claim that you watch a league, at least come up with a better argument, bro. Not some random BS. Yeah.
I actually think
it's not BS.
If you're not gonna buy, I actually think someone like him is potentially a really good backup for your wide players. Actually, at 20-odd million euros, I'm not saying just sign him in the attack. But if you do get Yilmaz, you get Merino, and then you add this player to it, Yilmaz to it. I think that's good business. I'm not sitting here because he's at that price where he is in his career. He knows he's not coming in to be a first team player, but I think he's definitely better than a Reece Nelson.
Yeah, probably.
Listen, I think we need to look in the Prem, man. I think there's better players that you can get.
Go on, name me three.
Pedro Neto. Leon Bailey. I know most of my fan base don't rate him.
Pedro Neto that's injured all the time. Go on.
What is this?
Come on,
Leon
Pedro
Bailey.
Neto.
Leon Bailey. I don't know why nobody rates Leon Bailey, bro. Why does nobody rate Leon Bailey?
He's a good player.
He's just me.
He's a good player.
I tell you why you're not going to get Leon Bailey, because Leon Bailey is very good, but Leon Bailey is going to want to play first team football. He doesn't want to be a backup to Saka. Who's your third one?
I'd go with Rafinha. I'd bring him in.
Premier League player, you said. He ain't a Premier League player.
You talking about the Bolivian that's at Barcelona?
Okay, hold on. But Rafinha, brother, okay, you're just gonna start dissing the Barcelona players, bro.
Rafinha's
But
ass. Oh my god.
no, Rafinha's played.
You said you'd
Rafinha's
go to
played in the Premier League before, though.
Ah, you're trying that
Rafinha's
little,
played in the Premier League, though.
that little
No,
nugget.
but he's played in the Premier League, though. Has he not
No,
played
it
in the
has to be
Premier League?
now. Premier League proven now.
Sard has no idea. He's just
Premier
saying
League
names.
proven. No, hold on. Premier League proven means that you have played at some point
David Beckham,
in the Premier
David
League.
Beckham. That's what you're gonna say next.
No, but if you, what does Premier League proven mean? That you've played
So
in the Premier League.
why don't you
at
go
some
get
point
Leroy Sané?
and
He's
you've had-
Premier League proven, man.
Yeah, listen, man. Let's not start that, bro, because David's gonna get triggered again, and I'm
You
not
don't like
trying it.
Sané?
I'm not trying it. So
You don't like
anyway,
Sané?
no.
No. Oh, okay.
Anyway, let's not start it, bro. Please, I went through this already. I got slated and hated on the comments. So big up to everybody who watches the Liverpool Terrace. I don't have no input on Sané, bro. Sané is a good player, yeah. But anyway, listen. I think out of my three, it's Leon Bailey, Pedro Neto, Rafinha. Those three I'd take. But Yilmaz, nah, man. I don't think he's the player for me. And based on what I've seen in it. That's just my personal opinion.
Based on never watching him, that's what you want. You want a guy that's flopped at Barca and a guy that's always injured and a player that won't join your club. Brilliant.
Yes.
Sard, absolutely amazing analysis, that, mate. Tip-top stuff, that. You could win a Pulitzer Prize for that one, bruv. Honestly.
I don't know what Tel wants me to do fucking Monday Night Football right now, bro. Say, you know what? He attacks the half space and he actually gets in the ground and then he.
I want you to make sense. And not
but it makes sense.
You've lied
If you
to
look
us,
at-
You've lied
if you
to us
look
live
at
on
him-
air. You've lied.
So go look at Yilmaz in the Euros and look at how many times he lost the ball. Why is Tel winking now, bro? What's going on, bro? I'm done with this conversation. Listen, I don't want Yilmaz at my club. Get out of here, Yilmaz, man. Don't come anywhere near my club, man. Anyway.
This here says in 2012, my parents bought cable, and the first game I watched was the 2012 Champions League final. My family are all Peruvians, so they cheered for Bayern, but I was the only one cheering for Chelsea because of Cole.
Wait, so how'd you know who Cole was if you didn't have cable television until 2012?
The internet existed, though, innit, bruv? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's fair. No, but I'm saying no, but like how it started, I thought he was gonna say like that was the first ever game.
he didn't say in 1912. No internet. Yeah. Do you know what though? A lot of people I know started supporting teams because they're playing FIFA. So they played FIFA the game first and then started watching football. And again, the team so I've got a few friends that picked Chelsea because they liked being Chelsea on the game. So they end up supporting them. It's mad reasons. Pav here says, I bet Arteta will win the league before Ten Hag. If this doesn't happen, then I will put a video on Instagram wearing a United jersey singing Glory, Glory, Man United. Who is ready to take the bet where I wear an Arsenal jersey and sing it? I'll bet you it. Yeah, go for it. There you go. Bet it. Bet done. Because you didn't put the return bet in there, so it's just you losing. I can't lose. You didn't put no return in there. Wicked. Oh, sorry, I'm just watching 200 meters here, watching our girl run. Go on.
He did put the bet in. He said you've got to wear an Arsenal jersey and sing London Forever.
Oh, did he? I didn't read that bit. My dyslexia kicked in.
Well,
Yeah,
sweet.
Go on, girl.
Down, so.
Beat the Yank.
She
She slowed up. Go on, Daryl. She's gonna come second. That's fine. To the Yank.
I'm not even watching it, and I know that the British aren't gonna win that.
Come on, that was cold. Hang
on a minute, though. Listen, I don't like this about sport. I know we're not as good at athletics as the Americans are, but that doesn't mean I don't support my country to win. Like you're letting your Real Madrid logic.
I was just bantering you, bro. I was just bantering you, bro.
You arrogant Yanks. You arrogant Americans. I'm joking, bro. No, I get you.
America, you know, we were beating them for the first week, and then obviously Simone's come in and do the thing. Like,
do you know what's crazy? I love the guy that won last night, though. Is it Liao? The 100 meter guy?
Noah Lyles.
Yeah, Lyles. Yeah. I really like him. I like the way he talks. I like the way he behaves. I just kind of like his energy. And then I saw the video where he's talking about the why do Americans call the NBA winners world champions? And I'm like, yes, finally an American said it.
Finally, a lot of NBA players hate this guy. They hate that. But he spoke facts though. He spoke facts.
And that was one of the best 100-meter finals I've watched. It was
great. It was brilliant. It was really, really good. I'm loving the athletics. This here says, Will, are you excited about Endrick?
Baby Pele, of course. Even though preseason's kind of been for him, but yeah, I'm excited to watch him play. Him and Arda Güler more than anybody else next season. Connor's Chelsea extensions were for like 2 years. He looked for the long term. Yeah, he's got long term out the door. Big up the panel. What's everyone's predictions for the top 4 this season? We're not good. I know you've super chatted in, but we're not going to do them until the season's about to begin. We're going to kind of save that content. So we'll come back to that one, Casey. I'm sorry to be disrespectful. When will football go back to rating actual footballers? Also, I don't know what that means. And the reason why I want to say that, Chike, is because if Del Piero or Inzaghi were playing now, people would say they're meaty footballers because they weren't the most technically gifted. No, they would. They would, because we know they would. They were good on the ball and everything else. But most of the strikers from their era, including the English ones, were good on the ball, but they were goal scorers. They weren't doing what
not Del Piero.
Del Piero was not like a world-class, great dribbler, wonderful passer, could feed the eye of the needle, was a great playmaker. He was a good footballer, but he would be called a meaty footballer in this era. Trust me.
Hey, no one's turned on the TV to watch Inzaghi. Come on, let's be serious.
Inzaghi, 100%.
Yeah, Inzaghi, I can say. Yeah, Inzaghi, yeah.
But you've got to remember, Alan Shearer would be called a meaty footballer nowadays. Robbie Fowler would be called a meaty footballer that taps balls in this day and age. And they weren't. They were all really good. You got to remember, mate, I'm not saying they're bad footballers. I'm telling you what the younger generation would say. People disrespect Poch for no reason. The guy got the top 6 with the most injuries and something and had all the young players. Yes. I don't think David cares, but thanks for the super chat, bro. Sard scouting Yilmaz is the same as Don scouting who? Jorgensen. Jorgensen. Come on, Sard. You watched him at the Euros and you're judging based on that. Sard, you need Güler then.
Listen, I'd love to take Arda Güler, but Real Madrid would put 100 mil price tag on him and say, come get.
Don't need him, bro. I've got Garnacho. I'm good. I've got my little Megan Rapinoe. I used to play left back when I was little, so I saw the way he defended against Ribery, and I was sold. Chelsea fan ever since. That's fair, bruv. That's fair. I like that. What does RBM mean?
Remember? No.
Remember the Dutch girl with the Mickey? Yeah, the Dutch girl that sounded like Mickey Mouse. She smashed it.
Femke Bol she's
quick
racer. Yeah, she's quick.
Yeah, she's very quick. I couldn't believe how quick she was.
Hello, my name is
believe it.
And you're like,
yeah. When I heard her talk, I'm not gonna lie, I burst out laughing so loud. Look, I want to thank everybody that's tuned into the show tonight. It's been an epic one. It's been a fun one. Patty, Dave, Will, Sard, Ram, Henry. Sorry, Kate. I want to thank you all very, very much for coming on and having your say. Make sure like buttons are smashed. Make sure you subscribe. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.